Welcome to the Verde Verde Sports Show. I'm your host, Jacob Verde. I hope everybody had a good weekend. LSU Sports had a little bit of a good weekend. One team didn't do so good, but hey, it's all right. You had a good year. You're able to finish it off, be proud, get the number one recruiting class in, and we can get things going the right way. If you got any questions, comments, concerns, as per usual, drop them in the chat below. Let's get some started with the Shama.
Chamas. Chama. Chama, pô. Chama, chama.
Y'all hear that? Y'all hear that? That's the way to get your Monday going. Shama. A little bit of Shama never hurt nobody. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. Let's talk about this March Madness. Everybody wants to say LSU got robbed. LSU got robbed. The refs were on UCLA's side. There's a lot of things that I could say. I'm not going to say that. That won't be one of them. There's a couple of reasons why. Let's dive into the game. If you missed it, LSU did in fact lose 72-65. But I got a couple of things that I want to praise here. Number 24, Nisa Morrow, shout out. A unit, absolute unit, 100% dedicated to the game. Broke her nose, got right back into the mix, right back into it. I think she finished her career with 104 double-doubles. I mean, Jesus Christ. 15.7 boards. She was 3 rebounds shy from 105th double-double. Not to mention the fact that she has 4 fouls. There's a minute left in this game, her last game in college basketball. She goes in, gives up her last foul, fouls out of her final game just to give her a chance, her team a little bit more of a chance to win. Obviously, it didn't work. I do think there's a couple of other things that banged up LSU more than that uh, missed call by the ref with the out of bounds and Kaylin Gilbert and the guard going back and forth. I mean, I know it looked like it hit off her foot, but at the end of the day, the momentum, it needed to get started a lot sooner than what it did. That's just the problem when you wait until the end to wake up. I mean, I know that there was a competitive aspect to this game, and both teams very, very, very talented. However, there has been a big issue with depth in LSU women's basketball. Huge issue, and we've been calling it out for a while, and it's hard to fix at this point in the season, naturally, because you're in your biggest moments, and you don't want to change your rotations, and everybody's really stuck into their roles and habits and tendencies, and I feel like this was a good example of that. Flau'jae Johnson did good. She had 28 points. 24 of them came in the second half. Like we said, Anissa Moore, 15.7 rebounds. But I want to point something out. The starters for LSU, they definitely held their weight. They were, keeping it alive for the most part. If you look at the bench points off the bench, the depth where the backup team came in, where all these, role-playing pieces have to contribute. LSU only had 6 points off the bench compared to UCLA's 22, and you're not winning basketball like that. There's no way that when your starters are off the floor that you're just rolling over and letting them, add on to this lead and snowball to the point where, quite frankly, it's going to be impossible to come back from. Shout out the big three, Michaela Williams, Anissa Morrow, Flau'jae. They've been pretty much carrying the team on their back, on their shoulders, and entire load of it all for the greater part of 2-3 months, shit, probably the whole season. If you look at the points that they had scored yesterday, they combined for 53 points. And if you do the math, that is 81% of the points that LSU scored yesterday. 81% of the points scored came through the big three, not through pieces on the depth, not through bench players, not through role players, but your top 3 starters had to keep you in this the entirety of the thing. That's not how you're going to win these games. You got to have pieces that are able to stand up if those 3 are not enough, because a lot of things are going to happen with those 3 having to do all the work, be the focus point. They're going to get tired. They might get injured. And 2 of the 3 we saw get injured. I mean, Anissa got injured in that game. And then Flau'jae's been dealing with injuries through the last month. That's what happens when you're pushing all of the load on these players. Let's look at the turnovers. And it's no secret that the top 3 turnovers came from those players. Anissa Morrow, 4 turnovers. Michaela, 5. Flau'jae had 4 as well. That's what happens. You got the ball in their hands over and over and over. Everybody's focused on them. Constantly, they have to, be the spark, so to speak, for this team. And if they're not able to spark it, then sometimes the fire just can't go. Your pilot light's out on your stove. You're just sitting there, nothing. No flame, no fire, no Final Four appearance. UCLA gets their first one in program history. And look, you had a good season. You had a good run. Just because you're not in the Final Four don't mean that you're not building something good and that the LSU, success rate hadn't been great. You're in the Elite Eight 3 years in a row. You gotta be hype off of that. You can't just complain. But You were that close. The turnovers, obviously, it hurt, but the 3-point game. LSU's perimeter defense has been kind of suspect. Whenever they are playing a team that can capitalize behind the arc, it's tough. UCLA hit double the threes that LSU did. They shot 10. LSU only got in 5. They shot 41% from beyond the arc. If you're going to mix in the team shooting their lights out beyond the arc, you're turning the ball over, and your bench is only scoring 6 points, you're done. You're cooked. There's not much you can do in hoop when you don't have a lot of depth, when the other team is shooting a 41% clip, way higher than you, double the threes that you're putting in, and you can't keep the ball on your side. I mean, look, you won the rebound battle, so I'm sure that that's something that you can build off of. And a lot of people are wondering, do you need bigs? What do you need exactly? Well, you're getting in the number 1 recruiting class, so what you don't need is guards. I mean, you got Bella Hines, you got Devine, you got Grace Knox, you got Zakiya Johnson. You are coming in top heavy. With the bigs, yeah, there might be a little bit of a need there, especially when I need some moral leaving. And then now you got to worry about Flau'jae Johnson, because if Flau'jae Johnson leaves, that changes the whole trajectory of this program. If you keep her, I think you're in a pretty good spot. I think you can retain a good bit of this production, probably Samaya, obviously, Jada, maybe Kaylin Gilbert, Michaela Williams will still be there. Leah Del Rosario will still be hanging around there. Latson, the Florida State guard who entered the portal that was leading the NCAA in points per game. That's an interesting look, but it's also a guard. Like I said, you just brought in 4 pieces that I think you might not get instant production out of, but this is going to continue to lay the foundation of what Kim Mulkey's trying to do here. Not the way that you wanted the season to end, obviously, but I think it's time to lock and reload. It's all going to be interesting. It's all going to revolve, quite frankly, around what Big Four is going to do. Gordon McKernan, shout out, bring that Brinks truck back. One of the best ways you can keep her, because we know everybody wants to say that the college basketball attention is greater in the women's game than it is at the WNBA at the professional level. I think Flau'jae could be a big catalyst to get that attention rising. Not to mention just Flau'jae, Paige Breckers. I mean, in a few years, you're going to have Juju Watkins. All these stars at the college level are going to inevitably run out of eligibility, and they're going to have to play pro ball. I think the longer that you get into this, the longer that you allow it to translate, the more excitement you're going to see at that level, and the easier it'll be for these players to decide. Because as of right now, it's a decent question. You got the NIL money, the collective money, the attention from March Madness, and just the overall program loyalty. Because people at LSU, they love LSU women's basketball, obviously because of Kim Mulkey and the success. But there's a big piece of it that is because it's LSU. It's the brand. It's the purple and gold. Anything purple and gold, people will grab a hold of it and be obsessed with it. So there is a value in a sense of saying where you do lose that, but I mean, with the expansion, with the teams growing, I do think WNBA will rise, and players like Flau'jae Johnson are going to be a big reason because of it. So it'll be interesting to see if she's going to continue that impact, or if she's going to stay back one more year and try to get another ring. I mean, when you win a ring in your freshman year and you cross that box off early, I just don't know if the itch is still there compared to a player that already got it done or, hadn't got it done. Let's move over to LSU baseball. They got the sweep, but geez, it was like 2:00 in the damn morning before the last pitch in the 9th inning. 117-8, swept Mississippi State. Look, I'm not going to get too hyped because Mississippi State is rough right now. 1-8 in SEC play. It's a good series. We needed it, especially after the bounce back when you go on the road in UT and you get, kind of fiddled around with it a little bit. But 8 runs scored in the first inning. They were 100% fired up for that damn late night start. 9:30, they got them boys waiting around like an extra 3 hours for first pitch. And then they put on what Jay Johnson said was potentially the best inning of baseball he's seen to open up a game. And this makes you excited, because if there's one thing that you're going to take away from an LSU baseball game, or if there's one thing that I've been taking away from LSU baseball games, it is that the bats are hot, scorching hot. Every single person can grab one and let one rip. Don't matter who it is, what part of the order. Everybody is getting active. 4 Tigers had 3 hits in the game. They racked up 19 total hits on Mississippi State. The offense is booming. I mean, the defense and the pitching, it's getting there. Connor Ware got the win in relief. He's 4-0. And whenever the game's delayed, you're just sitting around. For you to be able to come out and start that quickly, start that hot, gives you some type of confidence in your squad that they don't have to be, in the flow, everything going perfect, in the groove, if you will. If they can just turn it on and put together 19 hits and have 4 players go with 3 hits in the game, you're in a situation where I feel like you're one of the best offenses in the country. Naturally, you can have a lot of teams compete with you. A lot of teams argue with you. But I just think that you're looking at one of Jay Johnson's best squads in a while. LSU Baseball has been, putting together some interesting stats. First time since 2019 this. First time since 2017 this. The amount of wins that they got in a row. The amount of runs that they're scoring. Every single thing. Every single time you turn a corner, they're turning heads. LSU Baseball, probably the team with the best odds for the Tigers to win a national championship. I mean, obviously, women's basketball was giving them a run for their money. They get really, really close. But I just don't think I had as much confidence in the women's basketball team as I have in LSU's baseball team. I think that their situations going into this year, not necessarily polar opposites, because both were kind of in a little bit of a proving ground when they had some stars depart and they're trying to find the next generation that they're going to replace them with. But I think LSU baseball had a lot more recruits and a lot more new pieces to offer here, and we're getting to see them. I do want to point out, though, why the hell did the game not start earlier? I feel like there was a good section on Saturday where, it was shitty weather in the morning, or towards like 2 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Why you can't move the game earlier? You move the game back later. Then all that time, all that potential opportunity passes. And then here you are playing baseball at 9:30 at night, finishing at 2 o'clock in the morning. That should be the last time that anybody in the box is there like it's a damn bar. Some people might have liked it. Some people might have enjoyed it. Logistically, made no sense. You had a lot of time to move it before. I get it. You got some other things going on. The forecast for the weather, too, it's like a coin flip. 50-50. Flip a coin. It'll rain or not. It's pretty much the same damn odds that you got. But that just seemed like one of the worst planned games, especially with it being pushed back to where it was probably more likely to rain in the night comparatively to the beginning of the day. That was a questionable decision. But, hey, if you enjoy late night baseball like that, then I'm sure you had no complaints. Jelani Watkins, damn near the fastest man in the world. They got a lot of people in the comments talking about Trendon Holiday and just comparing him to all these type of players. I got an interesting breakdown for you. If you didn't hear it, Jelani Watkins ran a 10.01 100-meter dash. Number 1 in the SEC, number 1 in the NCAA, tied for number 1 in the country, that is. But insane speed. Yes, this is a wide receiver for LSU. He's number 17, but he's been taking some time away from spring ball to go ahead and torch people on the track field. And I couldn't be more excited, quite frankly. I think he could be a huge weapon for LSU. I do want to say, though, some people are wondering if he's ever going to even play football again. Is Jelani Watkins even going to step on that field? I say, hell yeah. Why would he not? I know he's running these fantastic speeds and super fast, but you can do both of these. You can wait until track season starts. Football season's going to be over. I'm not saying he's going to have a huge role in the football team, but he can play a couple damn snaps. Get him on a return game. Get him on somewhere. Jelani got to play something. If you are running that fast, that is insane. We got to get you out on the field. Now, let's talk about Trendon Holiday. If you don't remember Trendon Holiday, shout out. He won the 2009 Natty with the track team. Also was playing for LSU football before he inevitably got drafted to the NFL, to the Texans, that is, in the 6th round. But Trendon was a 2-time champion, 8-time All-American, and his 10-second 100-meter won him the national championship in 2009. Guess what? Put this into comparison. Trendon Holiday won a national championship for the Tigers running a 10-second 100-meter. Jelani Watkins debuts in college at a 10.01. That's damn near a national champion time in your debut. We're comparing him to Trendon Holiday. I think Jelani, before this season even ends, is running a sub 10-second 100-meter. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that. The Trendon Holiday comparisons are good, but I think Jelani could be that much better. It is that close. I think he could even win a damn national championship as soon as this year. If you look at the Olympic speed trials and the USA team trials, this man would have been 6th in the USA team trials. Obviously, Noah Lyles went on to win the gold in the 100-meter. Guess what? 8th place, ran a damn 9.91. 9/100ths of a second off of 8th place in the Olympics in your debut. Impressive as hell. Get this man with Noah Lyles. Get them training for the Olympics in Los Angeles, because this dude can hold some gold medals. I ain't gonna lie. This could be one of the fastest men in America that you're looking at right here, Jelani Watkins. And if you think I'm crazy, let's just sit back and keep watching because this could be an interesting story when it's all said and done. LSU Sports Update, the weekend in review. What happened? So beach volleyball got their W against number 4 USC and number 9 Long Beach State. Didn't get it against UCLA though, but finished 2-1 in their competition. Softball had number 10 South Carolina come down and they run ruled them 11-3. Shout out. That with a little bit of weather issues as well. But this is their 11th top 25 win on the season and their second top 10 win. So that's a hell of a performance. And the women's golf team finished 3rd place in the Clemson Invitational. Shout out. And we're going to give a little bit of love to LSU Shreveport right here. I don't know if you saw this. FanDuel dropped it. LSU Shreveport played Texas College in a baseball game, and they scored 42 runs. No, I did not misspeak. LSU Shreveport dropped 42 like it's a damn football game in a baseball game. That's incredible. Whenever I saw that, I'm just sitting here thinking, how? How is the game not ended, for one? Second off, how are the batters' hands not flying off, for two? Third, LSU Shreveport versus LSU Baton Rouge. Let's make this happen. I mean, hell, even if they run rule them, I just want to see. If y'all can score 42 runs, just come over here and score 10. They might score 20. We got a damn 30 ball. If anybody bet on that, I don't even know if you can bet on that. But FanDuel posting is making me interested. But if anybody in any endeavor took an over of that game, you're one lucky dude. I mean, LSU Baseball sitting here starting the first inning up 8-0, and everybody over here is hype. Try 5 times that. It's more than 5 times that. That's 2 runs over 5 times that. Insanity. We're about to hop out here. We'll be back live Wednesday at 9 a.m. Hope everybody enjoyed the stream. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. Drop any comments. Hit the subscribe button so you don't miss another video. We'll be breaking down some of the pro day footage a little bit here soon. I'm going to give a more in-depth look at Josh Williams, more in-depth look at Kyron Lacey. Stay tuned for that. This has been the Verdant Verdict, and y'all enjoy your week. Stay dry. Don't get caught in that weather out there.